Hello, hello, and welcome to the Fire Tuna Club channel. My name's Kat, and this is going to be a little different. It's not really a tutorial video, so you don't actually have to watch it. It's more of a talking video. However, you can watch if you want to see me get increasingly frustrated over to-do lists. I'm really just going to explain why I started this channel and what I hope to gain from doing this, even though to anybody who might be looking at the channel, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm going to explain all this by using the 5 W's. Now, technically, you already know who I am, so I'm going to swap that one out with the how this channel came to be. And basically, here's a good start as to why I am doing this. If you look at the video, which again, I say you don't have to, but I'm going through some of my active unfinished projects that I have sitting around in my craft room, trying to decide which one I actually want to work on. Off the top of my head, I can tell you I have 2 stuffed animals I haven't finished, a felting project that isn't done, 2 doll edits that aren't finished, on top of, oh, let me see if I look around here, the fact that my room isn't clean. It's a death trap for the most part, and you can't see most of the floor. Who has a craft room like this? I know someone out there does. And I could go on and on about what still needs to be done, but I think you get the hint by now. For even a better frame of reference though, the folder you see on the video right now, I started when I got to borrow my mother's Cricut. That folder is 6 months old and was meant to be my craft book log to show of all the things I had done, make notes on what could have been done better. It still doesn't even have a page in it. To summarize, the how this channel came to be is because I really needed to start finishing my projects. So the second W is what happened. I've always been a crafter. 10 plus years now, always been a crafter in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be sewing, or quilting, or even just costume making. I used to do cosplay pretty regularly. I was a crafter. And then I got a job. And then I went to school. And then I got another job. And I just became a workaholic, and crafting fell to the side. But you know, on the weekends, sometimes I'd be like, I need to work on something. I feel inspired. I feel creative. And I would start something. And then the weekend would be over and work was back. And the project fell to the wayside. Rinse and repeat this process for several years. Then you end up with a craft room full of unfinished projects and fabrics that had ideas and things you purchased that were on sale that you knew what you were going to do with at one point. But not anymore. Which leads us to the third and the fourth W, the when and the where. The when, obviously, is now. For the last couple of months, I have been working on picking up the pieces of this insane life I've put together for myself and trying to get all these projects finished so that I can start new ones, so that the guilt doesn't weigh on me anymore. It's kind of bad to buy new fabric when you have probably an elephant's weight in fabric at home. So, thus began this project of figuring out how I could finish my projects, what would motivate me to keep doing it, and really just, I guess, a system of checks and balances to make sure that I kept on doing it, so that my projects got done, and this creative spirit that I've kind of let die on the side in the face of work could come back and thrive. And really, the biggest chunk out of all of this is the why I'm doing this. Now, I'm gonna do my best to keep a long story short, but essentially, in 2015 and 2016, I had fantastic luck that left me kind of financially strained. It took me away from my at-home work that I did. You know, I was probably making minimum wage, to be completely honest, but I was happy and enjoying what I was doing. And then the air conditioning unit broke down, and then the car died, and then bills came, so it really was imperative for me to get a better paying job. So I went out into the workforce, got a temp job that I, fully expected to have gotten rid of in 6 months and found a better position. A couple of months ago, I actually celebrated my 1-year anniversary of being employed where I am now. And the work is mindless. It's numb. It's pretty much soul-sucking, but the pay is great. The work is easy. It's just people don't want to do it. It's boring, boring, boring work. But it pays the bills. It 100% pays the bills, and I learned to like it. Let me rephrase that. I didn't learn to like it. I learned to live with it. My husband says it in a great way. Some people live to work, and other people work to live. I happen to be one of those people who now works to live. And I used to live for work. It was so great. It was so fun. It was the best. And going from that to what I do now was detrimental to my mental health. And pretty much for this entire year that I have been at this job, I have been learning to cope and readjust my life so that I could be happy again. Because I can't give up this job. I can't lose this job. I love this job because it pays the bills. That being said, I am learning to work around it to be happy again, and I've reorganized my life. And the biggest thing that makes me happy is completing projects and being creative, which I've let fall to the side because a lot of the work I used to do was creative work in its own way, so I was getting that fulfillment there, and now I'm not. So thus begins my crafting adventures. And why this video is named The Start of Nike is obviously some of you might be familiar with the, I believe it's Roman. Hang on, I gotta check this. Nope, I was wrong. It's Greek for Nike. Roman is Victoria. She is the goddess of victory. And you also might be familiar with the story of the guy running into the stadium after a war, shouting Nike and then falling over dead from exhaustion. Nike means victory. It also means, the other stuff that I refuse to mention because I don't want to, get caught for copyright. And also Nike is a character you can play in Smite. Either way, back to the root of my story here is that I believe that I can achieve this idea of Nike. So long as I haven't given up, so long as I keep crafting and keep striving to be happy and keep getting these projects done and fulfilling that need inside me to have a fulfilling life and to be happy while also working to live, then I've succeeded, that I have achieved my victory, and I will continue to aim for this victory. So I did the Fire Tuna Club, and I think actually that I'm going to try to do a Nike summarizing episode at least once a month. This is all kind of on the fly, and I'm still making it up as I go along. If I just come back to what I've done in the last month and go over the projects I've completed or the inspiration I've felt doing things, then I can see my Nike. I know, I'm being silly and a little philosophical? I love the English language. You just, feel your tongue dying inside every time you try to pronounce a word that just trips you up. But if you have actually been watching this video, you can see how my handwriting on my to-do list has progressively gotten worse. I intentionally was going to videotape myself doing this to-do list so that I could get perspective on what I had left to do. And the first page, I didn't even finish writing all the stuff. I filled the page. And the second page, I was trying to get my brain together on what I actually did do and what sections of crafting things that I had together. And then I was actually genuinely frustrated by the time I was getting to the end of this video. So I wrote those messages to myself to inspire myself to keep going and to keep doing this. And this is what I'm just going to do. I'm going to craft. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to share these things with you and possibly even attempt to teach you in some tutorials or, just teach you how to laugh at whatever I might get up to on this channel. But one thing I can say is this channel will be all about crafting. Whether it's polymer clay, quilting, clothes sewing, doll making, pattern editing, I couldn't tell you right now. It just really depends on whatever project I pick to work on and take a video of. So now that I've explained to you what the channel is all about, what I plan to do, and really, if you've been watching, what I plan to do to myself here, if you're anything like me, Nike, seriously, just get it done. If you don't start it, how can you finish it? Make yourself a to-do list, pick a project you know you want done. Just get it done. So, here's to hoping the next time I make one of these Nike videos, I guess, the monthly summary of what I've done, I'll be able to point on the screen, or maybe, just do one of those point videos and show you a project that I've completed. I'm looking forward to being able to do that next time. I really hope I get there. Hey, so you made it to the end. You know the drill here. If you liked what you saw and you want to see more, subscribe to the Fire Tuna Club channel. Or just like this video so I know what you want to see more of.